So Scott is using multiple time frames here. So we can see we have a 2-minute, 5-minute, and 15-minute chart here. And so Scott wants to know when the SIM22 MACD-BB indicator, when the MACD line, or when are they all sloping up together at the same time, across the 3 time frames, or when are they all sloping down together in agreement at the same time? So, and I think part of the confusion in Scott's question, and it's interesting, we actually had one or two other customers kind of asking about how does BloodHound relate, or how does BloodHound operate with multiple time frames on the same chart here. So I'm gonna try and answer 2 questions at the same time here. So let me go into my data series, and I need to change a few things here. We're going to go to minute charts, and we're going to put a 2-minute on there. There we go. And then, all right, I need another data series. And let's see, this is going to be 5-minute. Yeah, 5-minute and 15-minute. Okay. All right, and add another RTY, and this time it's going to be a 15-minute chart. All right, so here's all right. So we have 3 time frames here, and so we've had some confusion from customers, thinking that BloodHound is somehow, while BloodHound is definitely a unique indicator that no one's seen together, but BloodHound is still an indicator, and so it's bound by the rules and framework that all indicators have to run in. So the confusion is that people are wondering, so when you add BloodHound to your chart and you've got 3 time frames, people are wondering, or people are thinking that somehow BloodHound is going to operate or interact with all 3 of these charts on this one chart. But no, that's not what indicators do. Right, so let's just take an example here. Let's say I want to throw an EMA on my chart, right? If I throw this EMA on the chart, I'm not going to get an EMA of the 15-minute, 5-minute, and 2-minute, right? Let's apply that. Right, so you can see my EMA was applied to the first time frame, which was the 2-minute chart, right? I'm not seeing an EMA of the 5-minute. I'm not seeing an EMA of the 15-minute, right? So with BloodHound, it's the same thing. When I put BloodHound on here, it's only gonna operate based on one of these time frames. And the way you determine which time frame it's going to operate on is you go to the input series, right? You see the data series right here, this data series section right here, right? And you look at the input series, and we can see it's a 2-minute chart, right? The input series is a 2-minute chart. So, and we can also see down here where BloodHound is running, right, in its own sub panel, we can see down here, BloodHound is running on a 2-minute chart, right? So we can see that as a part of the label, it's a 2-minute chart there. And, so just like with the EMA, right? So the EMA is only running on the 2-minute chart. And so the 5-minute and 15-minute chart, those time frames are not going to affect the EMA. The EMA doesn't even know that the 5-minute and 15-minute exist on this chart. And so it's the same with BloodHound. BloodHound does not know that there's a 15-minute chart or a 5-minute chart on this, that there is a 5 or 15-minute chart on here. So BloodHound's not going to interact with those in any way. Right? So let me get rid of, and it doesn't matter. Let me get rid of the EMA here. So, and it doesn't matter where BloodHound's at, right? So I could have BloodHound somewhere in the middle, and still BloodHound is operating on the, let me grab a line here. You know, BloodHound's operating on the 2-minute chart, you know, no matter where I put it on my chart, right? The panel location is just for visual purposes only of your chart. It has no effect on what time frames your indicator is running on there. So let's move this down here. Yeah. Well, let's put this back down on the bottom like so. And let me load up today's workshop file again. So there we go. There's today's workshop file right here on the quick list, right? So you can see that you in the file menu, right? You have this little quick list of the last, I believe it's like the last 15 files or something like that. So anyways, let's load up today's workshop file. All right. And so going back to the multi-time frame, you know, kind of confusion here with BloodHound. So if you do want BloodHound to work with a 5-minute chart and a 15-minute chart as well, you have to add that to BloodHound internally, right? So these external charts have no bearing on your indicator at all. So if you want your indicator to work with multi-time frames, you have to set that up inside of that particular indicator. Okay. So if I want, to work with a 5-minute chart, then I will add a 5-minute chart inside of BloodHound. And let's go and add another chart here, right? So I'm using the chart button to add another chart or another time frame. And let's make this a 15-minute. All right. So there we go. So now I have the default time frame is the chart that BloodHound is loaded on. And if you remember, looking back here, right, BloodHound is running on this 2-minute chart, right? So the default time frame is the 2-minute chart that BloodHound is running on, right? Remember that was the input series. So here, let's go back to right. If we go back to our indicator list, what is the input series? Right, the input series is the 2-minute chart. So that input series is the default time frame, is the input series. So, right, and then we have a 5-minute, and then I added a 15-minute as well. All right. Now, last thing to do is you'll notice BloodHound will give us a little message here telling us we need to reload the chart, so that way NinjaTrader can load the 5 and 15-minute time frames into BloodHound. So let's reload the chart so we can get those time frames loaded in, and there we go. Now we're done.